Was Bella putting on makeup for her date night with Jacob? A failed editing job. She looks like an egg. I'm a professional MUA, and let's review Bella Swan's makeup throughout the movie series. First, in Twilight, she's a fresh-faced 17-year-old. Her age and her point in development is carrying a lot of the weight. For her character presentation, there really isn't much makeup at all. Also, the director did a harsh blue filter over the film, so even the makeup she was wearing wasn't really visible, and it was kind of, the coloring was obscured by the camera. You can see her brown contacts. In the behind-the-scene photos without the blue filter, you could see what's going on a little better, which is not much. There's really just a little bit of eyeshadow, kind of like defining the eyes, a little bit of upper eyelash mascara. Her brows are very groomed and a little bit filled in, a little bit of lip staining. Her natural hair, I like the headband, kind of playing homage to her younger age. Not much to say about Twilight Bella. She's very cute. Now, New Moon gets interesting. There's the biggest difference in New Moon is there's more eyeshadow going on. There's more drama and sculpting of the eye socket. There's a new director for basically every movie, so I think this director wanted to look more moodiness overall. So we see more sculpting in her face, more sculpting of the eye socket. The brows are a little bit sharper. She almost looks like a Tim Burton character. Especially, I love her makeup in the movie theaters because her eye socket, the eye makeup almost looks obvious, like as if Bella the character applied eyeshadow to go onto this date with Jacob. So it's kind of it sort of plays into the story. Like, is she trying to look pretty for Jacob? You could see it more clearly in like behind the scene photos where she has like a light matte color on the lid, and then the socket has been carved out with a contour color and the under eye to make the eyes look more apparent on her face. Here's some screenshots. You can see it's like this, there's some warmth in the color. It's like a bronzy shade almost. It's really pretty. You can see as she looks down, there's some upper mascara, not much lower there, but there's a lot of eyeshadow on the lower eyelid, giving her definition. Was Bella putting on makeup for her date night with Jacob? I even see some blush. She almost looks like Shelley Duvall in this scene. And it's really only in this particular scene. It's an amped up version of what we see throughout the movie. Especially from the side view, you can see how her socket is carved in, almost encroaching on her brow bone, where that fat pad on the brow bone is protruding out. There's brown shadow trying to push it back to create the illusion of a more hollowed out eyelid. Really pretty. And then Eclipse. It's hard to talk about the Eclipse makeup because this is when Bella was wearing a wig, which was the most atrocious wig execution ever done in Hollywood history. Like, what a large budget film, and you give us this horrendous circular hairline that is not customized whatsoever. There should have been like a hand ventilated lace front wig that was designed to mimic Bella's natural hairline, and it's just this round with horrible layers. It's never styled well. This picture cracks me up because it looks like antennas, the way that the tendrils are like, they're trying to fake some sort of casual wave pattern. I don't know what that is. I also think her eyebrows get a little bit funky in Eclipse. We're seeing some of the similar eye makeup going on, but whatever. Kristen Stewart's eyebrows are chronically overgroomed, in my opinion, throughout the series, but in Eclipse, I think they take a little bit too much. Like, they're trying to open up her eyes. They're trying to, like, change her eye shape with the eyeshadow, and maybe they're making the eyebrows thinner to try to, like, give more real estate, but it looks weird, and the problem is when you overgroom an eyebrow, especially where it's anchored in the head, because that's kind of anchored on the muscle, and you can't really change that location. When you shrink the perimeter of the head, the eyebrow looks even more odd in motion when you're emoting. Like you can see in this scene, look at how far apart her eyebrows look and just how they look kind of funky because they've taken away too much hair. They just look choppy too. Like they were waxed poorly and then they weren't filled in, so they look chunky and kind of jagged almost. I don't know, her eyebrows look terrible. The heads are all rounded out and too far apart. Very strange. Like you can see here in Breaking Dawn, even she's on her deathbed and her eyebrows look better. Yeah, let's just move on from Eclipse because it's like, okay, then Breaking Dawn, the wedding makeup. It's interesting to see how similar the wedding makeup is to her vampire makeup. I believe that this was like a Chanel palette. You could look it up, but people were trying to replicate this makeup a lot, so it's some sort of Chanel palette. They just did like a kind of a smokier lash line, similar to the makeup we've seen in New Moon. in Eclipse, but it's just amped up with more of a obvious makeup. The brows are more filled in. Same lip stain, not much makeup anywhere else on her face. I think Kristen Stewart has great skin, so there's never a ton of foundation on her. There's some pink blush kind of centrally on her cheek, which is an interesting placement. They must have wanted her to look very fresh and youthful. I don't think there's falsies. Maybe there's like a few clusters. They never put much makeup on Bella Swan because her character is not a makeup wearer, even though in this scene, according to the books, she was wearing a ton of makeup and like she looked like a different person. You don't really see it once her eyes are open. And of course here she's looking up towards Edward, so a lot of the eye makeup's going to be obscured. Okay, now to the vampire transformation. I wish they had stayed more true to the books, because in the books, vampires are supposed to have like lavender bruises under their eyes and like lavender eyelids. Like there's lots of blue and gray and such tones going on in their skin. And in Breaking Dawn, this is a new director again. There's a lot of weird warm tones in the vampires. Like they use like these apricot colors. Very strange. So we have the contacts. They obviously lined her lash line. There's definitely false lashes going on. There's this like rose gold shade on her eyelid for some reason. Her brows are more filled in, thank God. She has some eyebrows. Yeah, whatever. Looks fine. But now you can see this apricot color coming into play. This is in the battle scene. She looks pretty here. They have this like frosty white inner corner highlight, which is interesting. They also put like some red pencil into her tear duct to kind of accentuate that negative space and create like a sharp angle into that inner corner. I don't understand the color palette choices. Like there's like this apricot lip stain that all the vampires have, even the men, and then she has like blush. That apricot color is in the middle of her face. Maybe Kristen Stewart was like cold when filming and they just didn't edit it out. So that she's wearing an obvious false lash as a vampire. There's some sculpting of the eye again, but it's just everything, it's the same, just bumped up. Her eyebrows are a lot darker, I've noticed. They look thicker in some scenes too. Yeah, not much going on. All they really did for her is false lashes, and they meticulously lined the lashes with like a liner to kind of create more defined lines in the eye. It's like a smoked out liner, essentially. I wish they had given her longer hair. I mean, thank God it's not a wig anymore, but I feel like vampire girls should have like bust down wigs like down to their waist. Here you can see how her brows are a lot darker. Her brows look so much better here. I really couldn't stand looking at her brows in Eclipse. You can see how that brighter inner corner is playing with the light. So the eyes overall just have a lot more contrast. They have that bright inner corner, that dark defined lash line. It all contrasts and plays well with the red contacts. Makes her eyes look very piercing and captivating. I'm a fan. I just don't understand the color scheme that was chosen. I want to see more lavender tones. I also just hated her hair in her initial reveal as a vampire because these extensions do not match her roots at all. She looks like she's wearing a halo extension, and those curls are just like, this looks like synthetic. This doesn't even look like human hair. We have like 3 different colors and textures going on. Red hair, then we have like mousy brown roots. I don't know what's going on here. And then look at this hair. Her hair looks crunchy and dry. I'm just noticing this. It's thirsty. There's 3 different textures. Dry, mousy, red. She has like choppy layers. I don't know what's going on here. And then we have some eye circles going on here. We could have put her in more flattering light. Part of me just wonders why they didn't just give like a Keeping Up with the Kardashians filter. If they're supposed to be perfect and ethereal, why don't we just put some sort of filter, like use the CGI, give us the skin softening effect? But I'm not in production, so I don't know how difficult that is. I mean, if the Kardashians can do it for episodes of their show, why can't we do it for a movie? I hate these promo photos that they do. Like, who is this? She should have had hair like that, but we never got it. She also like, does not look pretty in this picture. I feel like her features are like distorted. Like her mouth looks weirdly small, and then her nose looks a lot bigger. I feel like that's like a failed editing job. She looks like an egg. She has like no contour depth. Her face is so flattened. I don't like looking at this picture. It makes me feel weird. And in some scenes, the makeup's less successful. There's just too much color and saturation in the skin. I don't know if this is a color grading or like a filtering thing, but the vampires look too like ruddy. And her eyes also look like a different eye makeup was done. They look more round and less dramatic. Like this eye makeup it's like it has all the same characteristics, like the inner highlight and the lashes and the liner. and the brows, but it's not giving the same as like this scene, where it's more angular and feline and piercing. Like, follow, comment, and let me know who I should do next.